what are the main strategies that need to be performed, or key stages, I suppose, in the creation of a new business?
Yeah. So I will take this as a business person myself and as a business owner. So I run a number of businesses and are involved in a number of businesses, but I guess mine started with when I became self-employed, I don't know, 14 years ago. And now I'm involved in different businesses. So it's not just about self-employment. But what I will tell you about self-employment is cash flow. So you can and you should and you will spend a lot of time thinking about the name of your company, about the graphics, about the exciting things. But depending on how much money you have will depend on how long you can survive. So if we take, for example, that you have a good potential client, they may buy from you the very first week you set up in business, who knows? Or they may decide, yeah, we'd love to deal with you, but we'll deal with you in 6 months' time when we have a need. In the meantime, you have to feed, clothe, and house yourself for those 6 months. So I would be very, very focused on understanding, how do I survive if I have no money? And also, how am I going to promote my business? Now, it could be that you have somebody that will already work with you. But if you start on Monday and you have no existing clients, how long can you survive without any money? And don't forget, I remember I had one client about 5 or 6 years ago, and they contacted me and they said, we need you to come and do some consulting. Again, it was website consulting. And this is a very old company based in the West Midlands, not far from Birmingham. And they've been in business 200 years. And they said, this is how much we'll pay, blah, 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 but we're 60 days plus. And I said, 60 days plus, and 60 days plus to them. So don't forget, when somebody sends you a contract, when somebody sends you an order, as much as you will focus on, can I do this properly? And can I do a great translation? Or can I teach them how to use English properly? Whatever it is you're doing, understand their payment terms. So that company, essentially, it's, if you invoice them on the first of the month, they will pay you 60 days after the end of that month. So essentially, they could be paying you in 90 days. You've got to be able to survive that. And don't forget, you may have a situation where you've got taxes to pay and you've got rents to pay. So I would say, by all means, do all the fancy dancy stuff, do the business plans, etc. Understand where your income's coming from. So some people may have money already. Some of the businesses we're setting up, there is an investor that has money. But if you're an individual and you're starting off as a freelance translator, and also this is a tricky thing, because when you're doing your masters, you're focusing on that. But if you are thinking about starting something, think about how you can get ready for that. And if there's anything you can do, if there's a company locally you could touch base with, if you touch base with them 6 months before you finish your MA, and they say, well, actually, we might be interested in something. One of the students on the MA, at Aston, she now works for a local company, and they're in Germany, and they're doing camping things and so on. And she knew them before, but if you can start that process, because it takes time for things to happen. And Slator, somebody's mentioning there, Slator is, yeah, Frank's mentioned that. That's a great source of information as well. There are plenty of sources out there, but I would very much, having gone through the experience of setting up, and I did have some money myself, and I did have industry contacts, but it still took me a good 6 months to feel that I would have any money. And I had a mortgage and a daughter and all those sort of things going on. So my wife was working, but I'm just saying that's something I would be very focused upon. That, how do I get business? When will they pay me? And what can I do in the meantime? So how do you acquire business? How much is it worth? How much profit will you make? And when will they pay you? And what expenses do you have to cover in the meantime? I hope that's not too alarmist, but that's what I would say.